Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited. Take a look at these beautiful bracelets. So this one here was something I worked on over Christmas, and I showed how to attach a clasp in another video just because it takes a little bit of time to do the clasp. So I kind of like to separate it from the actual bracelet. So yeah, you can take a look at that. But this turned out so beautiful, and this is basically two beads. So you have your rondelles and your 11 seed beads. So it turned out amazing, and then these gorgeous clasps just totally bling it up. What I want to show you, this is the incredible one that I want to show you. This was made with these gorgeous beads from Beebeecraft. Thank you so much, Beebeecraft. I went back to their site and started looking for very bright, elegant bead colors because I think I got this because my sister likes blue, so I thought, okay, I'll make a bracelet for her. So let me take out these beads. Everybody, when I did the unboxing, most people were like, oh my gosh, those blue beads. So let's take a look at them. Unbelievable. Look at how incredibly sparkly they are. They are so gorgeous. So these are 4x3s, and there's 10 strands. Wait for it. The price is $3.99 for 10 strands. That's crazy. So yeah, they'll probably be sold out after this. So let's just put these here for now. And we'll take a look at this bracelet because I am going to show you how to do it. We're going to use this color this time. I wanted to kind of give you a variety of colors to choose from and show you the finished product as well as something that's almost finished, and then how to do the specific, the bead weaving if you don't know already. So take a look. This is, I'm sure it looks great on the camera. It looks so amazing in real life. You're not going to believe. Look at this. So this one I made for my sister. So this is a 7.5. So if you're looking at this and thinking, okay, I'm going to get those beads. These are 11 seed beads. They are yellow gold galvanized 11 Rokais. And if you take a look at how many, like, of the little, I don't know, you call them rosettes or quadrifoil, these little, the 4 beads attached to each other. So if you look at the middle row, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's pretty easy to remember, 10. And then you're always going to put your outside row, you're always going to put 1 extra at each side of the middle row. So you need a diamond to connect everything together. And this was super simple to attach. I didn't add any extra beads. I just attached the thread. Now I did take a separate thread from the bead work and attached it, and I wove it in and put knots throughout. So this is not going anywhere, and this is the other side to that. It's so beautiful. Very easy to attach. If you need more instruction on attaching clasps like that, just let me know and I'll do some separate videos for that. So let's put that aside, and I'll quickly show you this one. So I was working on this one, and you can see how it ends without the clasp attached. So then you take your clasp. I might have one on my desk. No. Anyway, you take your clasp like this and you just slide it in, and it fits so nicely. So there you go. Anyway, I have this one left. I left a couple to go to show you how to do this stitch when you have beads next to it, because your counting is different. You're gonna incorporate this little peak here and this bead here. So we'll get to that. So that's why all the different colors. And this here, so let's talk about this. So these are, was in the unboxing that I just did. So if you want to go back and take a look at that, I will put all the links in the description. So if you just tap where next to the title, and it will bring up in the corner here, like next to the video, it will bring up the information from Beebeecraft, and you hit more and it will bring it all down. And there's things like the 10% off your entire order using the coupon code Emma10. So that's awesome. And just remember that orders over $25 is free shipping, which is incredible right now because shipping costs have gone up so much. So this one here is 4x3. There was 10 strands for $3.59. That's crazy. 130 pieces in each strand. And it's called Imitation Jade Green Rondelle. I do want to point out too that this blue here is not in this unboxing, but what I did was I found the code for it and I will include it. So it will actually be at the end of all the other codes for the links for these beads. So, because there's a bunch. And this one here, I should mention too, is round. These beads are round. So they're 4 millimeter around. These ones here are 4x3s. So you can see the difference. And just to let you know, it's the same amount of beads that you're going to use to cover them. They both, you can see, they're both covering those beads nicely. So you don't have to adjust your bead work or your count. This one here, so this uses 5 beads every time you go around a bead, as well as that one. This one here uses 7. I started out with 5, and now you could see there's probably too much on this one. You see how the tip ones kind of stick out, but this design, you always need an uneven number. So you need 3, 5, 7, because you're always going to pick up that middle bead, so you need an uneven number. So just to let you know. And yeah, let's get started. So let's take a look at, oh, I have been waiting to show you guys. I'm like, I don't know, I can't keep postponing doing the video because we'll have like 10 different colors. So I'm gonna just take a few of these off and we'll get started. There's tons of videos on how to do this stitch. It's not anything new, so not my design. It's been around forever. That's not what I wanted. Okay, and I'm gonna take my yellow gold galvanized 11/0s, and that is nasty, the brightness here. Let me fix that. There we go. So put those there. This is really easy and really fun to do. It's quick as well, so make some of this stuff. I'm using a size 12 beading needle. I'm sure you could use a 10, but when you start going through, say, your little diamond shape here, if you go through it a few times, and I do go through it a few times to secure it, you might get stuck in your corner beads. So, you know, you can try it out with your 10, but you might want to do a size 12. And let me show you what thread I'm using. So your thread is optional as well, but do remember that because these are crystals, the inside's sharp. So if you're doing a lot of pulling with your tension, you might break your thread. And actually, I decided to use the 5, but they call this size 5 dragon thread. I think I ended up doing a size 6. We'll try it and see. I'll be careful. So you can start with your diamond shape. You can start with your little flower shape. So let's do the flower shape. Pick up 4. And these are hard to see the holes. Okay, so you have 4. This is the only time you'll ever pick up 4 at once. You're going to bring it down to the end, and we're going to put a knot in the end. So I'm going to do 3 knots. That's kind of my go-to, but 2's probably fine. And I'm going to try and get that nice and tight. There. You're going to cut this tail. Get rid of that. Now I'm going to go through them again. I'm going to get this knot to go inside the bead as well. And let me adjust the camera here so you can get a good view of my hands. And always make sure when you pick up your needle after putting it down to check that you haven't created a knot. I've done that so many times. It's annoying. It's not friendship. Okay, so I'm going to just go through this one here. Bring it through. And just pull it a bit. It will slide in there. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to go through and we're going to add 1 seed bead around in between each of these are 11 O's, in between each of the crystals. So you can do this with any type of bead too. You could do it with pearls, you could do it with Drux. This is gonna look lovely. Oh my god, I found a new color. I get so excited. Can't help it. Not my fault. Oh. Okay. So now I'm gonna go through the bead and through the crystal and the next seed bead, because now we're gonna put the beads all the way around each bead. And I'm going to enlarge this. I mean, it's pretty clear to see, but they're teeny tiny. So pick up 5 now. Let me move these out here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. Okay, so you're coming out of this one here. We're going to go around the crystal this time and through the 11O seed bead. And like that. Just do that all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming out of this one, we're going to go into this one. Like that. And if you're a experienced beader, this is maybe not the video for you. But I know people get inspired by some of the color choices I make and bead choices. But I go in great detail because I remember when I was new to this, which was about 4 years ago, and it was so important to get the information quite detailed. So if it's something that is you don't have the patience for, just find something a little more detailed. I have those videos too. Okay, so this one's a little different. We're going to do the same thing. We're coming out of this bead, out of this seed bead. We're going to go into this seed bead, but I'm going to continue to the middle bead in there of the next set. Like that. So that's the middle bead, which if you were counting, now these look like there's a lot of beads on this, but these are the smallest ones I have. Okay, so if you were to count not using the middle one here between these crystals, go 1, 2, 3, and you want your third bead to be your middle bead. Okay, so now we're going to do the little diamond shape. So we're going to pick up 4 11-O's, and they're just bouncing all over the place here. Okay, 4. And you're coming out of this side of the 11-O. We're going to go into the other side, like that. Caught on my mat. And pull it through. And it should look like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it so that my thread is on the right side. Just a little easier. So just a little hint with this diamond shape, you always go through your first bead. And you may think that's kind of a weird thing for me to say, but when I was starting out, I loved doing these diamonds. I never understood that until I would just follow the video and, okay, I'm going to do this now. Nobody said, make sure you go through your first bead. So sometimes I'd look at it and it's like, it's all messed up. Why is it so messed up? Well, because I wasn't doing the proper, now we're going to create the corners of the diamond shape. So it helps, if you understand what you're doing, then it helps to remember for the next step. Pull that in, take another one, put it through this. So you're basically adding a seed bead in between each of these beads. And you have to pull it in so that it snugs in between. And this is the last one. So we're going to go through the next bead, and we can go through the middle bead that we started with. Sometimes it's hard to get that angle with your needle. So there we go. That. Pull that through, and there's your diamond. So there's the beginning. So now what you're going to do is you're going to continue this so that you have 10 of these across. And you could actually, if you're doing a bracelet like mine where I have the middle row has a diamond shape at the end where you're going to put the clasp, you could take your thread, go around, add that one. I don't worry about it because I know what the shape is going to look like. So when I get to the other side, I'll add that diamond, but you can go ahead and add it now. So our thread's right here at this bottom middle bead. We want it to be up here. So we are going to just thread our needle and thread through each bead. Some people do skip the corner beads because they want them to stick out more. I like to bring my thread through every bead. That's just me. There we go. Like that. Bring it through. So now we want to start one of these. So this is a different way of starting it, and this is what you're going to do throughout. So again, we want our thread on our right side. So turn your work over so your thread's on that side. Now you're going to pick up 2 11/0s and 1 crystal and 2 11/0s. So we're going to start with the first bead at the bottom. So we're threads coming out of here, we're going to go to the other side of that bead and bring it in like that. And this lovely trick happens. It's magic. So now we have our bottom bead. So we're going to take our thread. It's coming out of this middle bead of the diamond. We want to bring it through the 2 seed beads like that. And don't worry if it gets loose, it will all tighten again when you go through everything. Let's bring it like that. Then go through the crystal like that. There. We're going to add 3. We're going to put the remaining 3 crystals coming out of this side. We're going to go into this side like that. And bring your thread through. This part here is a bit kind of flippy floppy, but okay, we're going to flip it. Don't worry about it. It's going to tighten again. This is one of those areas that you want to be careful not to keep pulling on your thread because it will get cut. So now we want to add the individual seed beads between each of those crystals. So that process remains the same. Go through here. Pick up an 11/0, go through the next crystal. That. Pick up another 11/0. Go through the next crystal. Ow, that one. These are sharp needles. It's hard. I pull these needles out of different containers, and I should attach a piece of paper that has the needle on it, the name and what size and what shape and stuff like that, because I have some that are sharps and some that are longs and some that are very expensive, and I want to make sure that I have the right needle for the right job. Okay, so I'm coming out of this crystal. So we have our 4 beads everywhere. I'm going to go through this first 11/0 and just the 11/0 like that. Because now we're going to go around and add the 5 beads around each crystal. So there's 5 beads. Coming out of this one, we're going to go through this one like that. Just like that. And continue. 3, 4, 5. Go through the next 11/0. And pick up 5. And go through the next 11/0 here. Okay, so we want to connect these 5 beads here to the rest of these beads. So I don't know if you can see this, but they're not connected. So we want to connect them. So when we were going through this bead, you probably could have gone through, but I wanted to show it separate because it's a little bit different. So go through those first 2 and then the middle one from the diamond. That. There. And just pull it, and you can see it nicely closes it up. We're going to go through the next 2 beads, and we're going to go through the one that's in between those 2 crystals, because you can see it's open right there. And pull it closed. Now we want to get back up here so we can add another diamond. So we're just going to go through all the beads. You could go through the crystals if you wanted to, but I find just as well to go through the seed beads. Let me get that in there. And go through that. And then we want to go through, so we're coming out of this middle bead that's in between the crystals. So you want to be in the middle bead of the 5, so that means the 3rd bead. So there's 1, 2, 3. So that's where we want to come out of, like that. Okay, so there. Let's do one more diamond, and then I'll show you the variation for when you're adding it to the 2nd row, and we'll do it on the other color. So let's flip this, and my thread's getting caught. Okay, so remember, we're in the middle bead of the top. We're going to add 4 beads, always 4 beads at this section. Oh, we were in the right way. So we are going to add, coming out of the one side of that bead, we're going to go through the other side, like that. That, flip it over. Okay, go through your first bead. That. There. Okay, now we're going to add a bead in between each of the seed beads, like that. Add another one, like that. And add the last one here. Okay. That. Go through that corner bead. And there we have. So you're going to continue this for 10. And then you're going to turn around and start on the other side. But I'll show you on the other one what that looks like. I'm just trying to think. No, you know what? I might as well show it to you on this one. So let's pretend that we have 10 down here. So now we're going to turn around and we're going to add one of these guys here over here. And then we're going to add another one here. Okay, so you want to be coming out of this middle bead here. So our thread's coming out of this one here. We're going to go up through 2 beads like that. Okay, so now if you think about how we added one of these on, it's basically the same idea, because if you flip it this way, you're now adding it here. So I don't know, I may be confusing you too much, so just ignore that if it's confusing. I'll show you what we're going to do anyway. And feel free to ask questions. I have no problem, you know, answering questions and doing it over if it's too confusing. So the next step, you're coming out of this corner bead here. You're going to add 2 11-ohs, a crystal, 2 11-ohs, and you're going to go through the other side of that bead like that. And you're going to pull that all through. That. I'm just going to flip this so it's easier to work with. So now go up through your 2 beads like that. And go through your crystal. So far all the steps are the same. It's just at the end when we put the seed beads all the way around that it's going to change. So we're going to take 3 crystals like that. We're coming out of that side. We're going to go through this side. Attach them all together in a circle. That. Just flip this like that. Okay, so now we want to add our individual 11-0 between each crystal. So pick up 1 11-0, go through the crystal. Get that nice and snug. It will get tighter too when we come around. 11-0, go through the next crystal. That. 11-0, go through the next crystal. 11-0, go through the next crystal. That. So at this point you can, pull on it a bit to get them snug and just kind of squish those beads down a bit so they hang together. Okay, so now we are going to put our beads around each crystal. So you need to be in the seed bead that's between each crystal to do that. Okay. Now we need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go through the next 11-0. So this part here is actually the same, only it's done on the side of the diamond shape. It's when we get to this section here that it will change. 2, 3, 4, 5. Go through. That. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And go through just that 11-0. That. And now we're going to go connect the bottom ones to the others. So go through the 2 and the one on the corner. That. Then we're going to go through the 2, the one on the corner, or in between the 2 crystals. And just keep an eye on your thread. It does tend to get hooked on things. And if you continue on, I had one I had to take apart a whole bunch. It had hooked on the big piece of the bracelet. Okay, so now, because we were working this way and now we've turned it because we're going to go down the other side of the bracelet and we're going to do the same on the other side too, right? So just flip it like that. Okay. We want to create a diamond shape coming out of this middle bead here, this middle bead, and attaching to this middle bead here. And that way it will all be together. So let's get our thread. We're coming out of this 11-0 that's between the 2 crystals. We're going to go through to the number 3 bead like that. Okay, just like that. So now you can kind of hold it this way because it's actually, we're going in that direction. because we have a bead here that's going to be incorporated into that diamond shape, we want to subtract one bead from what we're adding. So normally we add 4 beads. We're going to add 3. So 1, 2, 3, plus 4. The middle bead of this side here, like that. So that's what it's going to look like right now. And we have to connect this middle bead to this middle bead. And to do that, we need 1 11-0. And now we have enough to complete the diamond shape. So we're coming out of this one, we're going into this one like that. I'm just going to flip it so that my thread's coming out to the right. So remember how I said you always go through your first bead. So if you forget anything, remember that. When you're doing a diamond shape, you always go through the first one. That's where I was getting confused a lot, so that's why I mention it. And pull that tight. I'm going to extend my thread now that this does use a lot of thread. So, and I tend to fold over mine quite a bit when I'm doing a video so that you don't have to see me pulling thread all day. So now we're going to add our corner beads. So to create our diamond shape, so we're coming out of this one here. We've got our 11-0. We're going to go into the next bead here. That tight there, and then another 11-0 will give us the next peak. Now I'm going to go through my diamond shape again. Pull that in so you can see the diamond. You go through everything. There. And I want to be at this section here. The corner bead at the top, following the path, because now we're going to, you know, remember this area here, we were saying we had like 10 of them. So now we're going to do the other next to it. Because the, you know, how you add the beads on is a little bit different, and that's how it connects. So that's why it's important to make the same, you know, the moves. It's going to incorporate everything. Now I'm looking at this, I wonder if my thread went through 2, it did, went through 2 beads here. So that bead should be sitting a little closer to the other. We're going to not worry about it for now, but yeah, so your diamond shape looks a bit funky because my thread went through 2 of these beads here. It should be at the corner. So it should look like this. But you can see the thread. So that happens too. It's just you're working fast, and so let's now add another one of these up here. So we're going to pick up 2 11-0s, a crystal, and 2 11-0s. Like that. We're coming out of this side. We're going to go into the other side. Like that. Okay. Now we want to go through the 2 11-0s. Like that. And the crystal. Go through the crystal. And we're going to add 3 more crystals to complete it. Let me get these guys. 1, 2, 3. Coming out of this side, we're going to go into this side to complete the circle. Flip this. And okay. So now we're going to add the seed beads in between the crystals. 1, 11-0. 1, 11-0. 1. And the last one. Just going to turn it because we're going to get through. We're going to add it here. I was thinking I was going through there, but not yet. We want to make sure these are all connected here. Okay. So now go through just your 11-0 because we're going to add the 5 11-0s around the crystal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That. And coming out of this one, we're going to go into this one here. We're going to do that again. 2, 3, 4, 5. That. We're going to go through this 11-0. Okay, so now this one's different because we have a diamond shape here. So this corner bead is going to become our middle bead on this one here, and that will snug it together. So we need 2 beads. We're going to go through this corner bead on the diamond shape. See how it pulled it in? Then we're going to take the other 2 beads. So if you counted that one, it would make 5. We're going to go through. Oh, there's 2 there. Let me just turn this around. It's a little easier to maneuver. So I've got my 2 beads coming out of this corner of the diamond. We're going to go through this 11-0 and we're going to go through the other ones that we started with to complete it and get it all snug together. So just keep turning your work around. Coming out of this 11-0, we're going to go through. We want to come out on this corner here. So go through all the 11-0s and it snugs that together. Keep going through there. And that. We're going to stop at the middle bead. So that's the 3rd bead past the one that's between the 2 crystals. So this will probably happen to you when you're working, depending on which side and which direction you're going. So remember how we added this diamond shape and we had to combine the middle bead from the flower next to it or the crystals next to it. So in this one, because our thread is coming out of this bead here on the left, the first connection we're going to make is with this one. So instead of adding 3 beads, we're going to add 1 bead. So let's pick up 1 11-0. We're coming out of the top of this 11-0. We want the middle one of this 11-0 right here, and that will join it together and combined will make the 4 beads that we would normally use to create a diamond shape. So now we need to add 3 beads that, and go through the middle 11-0. So the other side, and you can actually go through everything you've just added, because we're going to go around and add the missing beads from our diamond shape. So let's go through the first bead. I'm trying to do this from the left, so bear with me. There's one. Okay, so pick up an 11-0. You're going to go through the next bead. There's our top pointy. Add another bead. Will give us our side pointy. It's a new beading term. It's called the pointy. And then we're going to go through our diamond shape again and get ready to add some more. And go to the top corner bead like that. Just like that. So let me see the other one to see it. I may have showed you how to do it already, so I'm just, yeah. So this one we would add 3, then come around to this bead. So yeah, this is the opposite of what we just did. So maybe I should show you. But look at how beautiful this is looking. So these are called Imitation Jade Pale Green Rondelles. Oh, it was only $3.59. Okay, so I get so excited. Let me put that one. I'm gonna work on that one tonight. I'll have it done, I'm sure. I do it while I'm watching TV, and my wife's like, "Are you watching TV with me, or are you beading?" I could do both. I'm very clever. Okay, I don't know if that's the same color beads. I don't think it is. No, it isn't. These are, what did I say these were? Yellow gold. So these ones are champagne gold. And it actually does make a difference. I mean, you may not really notice it. So let's put these out. And these look like money to me. They're so gorgeous. And that's what this happened with this one. The gold just, the blue crystal was incredible to begin with, but you're getting sleepy. Oh, I'm silly. I might as well pour them all out. Okay, so this is a good way to show you. So we need, if you look, we have one of these circles or flowers, whatever you want to call them. Now we need to add a diamond shape. Normally, if you're just doing one strand, you would add 4 11-0s. But because we're picking up a bead here, we only need 3. So pick up 3 11-0s. So this one I'm using the size 10 needle. It's quite big. I can feel it in my hand. So, and I did it, this whole bracelet with it. So you don't need a tiny beading needle. Okay, so coming out of this middle bead, double check that, yeah. And then we're going to go into this middle bead. Oops. See, that's what I did on the last one. It's easy to go through. Okay, and pick up 1 to connect these 2 together. And I'm trying to do it so that you guys can see it without me moving, flipping it over, but the beads go flying. Where am I here? There is the bead I want, like that. So that's going to connect those 2 together. Remember, go through the first one every time. Never fails. And that's caught on something. There we go. Now pick up a bead, 11-0, and go between. So you're coming out of this one here. We're going to go into this one, and it'll create the side corner. Pick up an 11-0. Now you've got your peak. Now you can go through all your beads that you just went through, like that. And it's really hard to see. Okay, we're through the third bead. We're going to go through like that. So we want to be in this bead here, this corner bead, for our next set of crystals. There. There. Pick up two 11-0s, a crystal, and two 11-0s. That step is always the same when we start anew. It looked funny. Okay, so coming out of this side, we're going to go into the other side. There must be a sharp spot on this crystal because it's like getting hooked. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to go through the two 11-0s on the same side. So you're following the bead, that's the thread path. Always. That's why we need to go through these two like that. And you want to go through the crystal because now we want to connect the crystals. So go through the first crystal, basically right angle weave. So the weave that I love it because it's so simple, but you can do so many things. So let's pick up 3 crystals. That. Coming out of this side, we're going to go into the other side. We're going to pick up our 11-0s that go in between each crystal. Another one. One more. And we need one more. I had to think about that because it was nice and snug. Oops, don't forget that. Go through your crystal. And you can go through the other 11-0 on the other side. It's not going to do it now. I'm getting low on thread here. I thought I had plenty. Okay. So you can see it's not connected at all. We want to go through this 11-0. There. We're going to add 5. Like that. Coming out of this one, we're going to go into this one. We're going to do the same again. 3, 4, 5. That. Hang on to those so they don't slide off. Go through the 11-0 in between the crystals. Now we're going to connect. So we're going to connect this corner bead. We only need 2 on this side, 2 on that side. So pick up 2, go through the corner bead. That. Pick up 2 and go through the 11-0s like that. Let's try and get through everything. Oh, we did. Oh, surprise. And look at that. So now we want to just go through these beads because you can see it's not connected here. Right here. So we're coming out of the corner bead from the diamond shape. Go through, snug that together. Bring your thread around to this top bead and continue on. We don't have enough thread to do that, and it's at the hour mark, so I think this is probably a good spot to stop. I would probably, you know what, I could probably make it happen so that there's enough thread, but it would get very finicky. So there we go. Oh my gosh. Let's take a look. So this one is the round electroplated, they call it full rainbow. It is incredible, these ones. So I'll add this to the end of all the other links if you're interested. It was in a December unboxing, so it's quite a while ago. This was the bracelet I wanted to do then, but we're only required to do 2 videos plus an unboxing, and the way I order stuff, I have so much stuff that I don't get a chance to do all the videos to show you, so I actually made it but just never got a chance to show you. So then there's this one. Oh my gosh. There is another variation of this where you take and you add a set of these, like this flower shape, and I have an extra one actually, and you put it in between, but it's higher up because it's attached between the two. So you can either put it here or you can put it in the middle one. So you have like a 3D bracelet in essence. But anyway, that's a whole other video. And then these are the gorgeous Imitation Jade pale green rondelles that are in this unboxing. So there you go, these lovely beads. Let me bring this out so you can see them all. These guys, yeah, there we go. Thank you for joining me. And like I said, like I get so much stuff from Beebeecraft that I don't get a chance to show you all the stuff. If you have a channel, definitely check out the collaboration program that they have. It's really nice. They're super nice to work with, and you don't have to feel nervous or maybe that your skills aren't as much as some of the beaders that we watch that are out there that have been doing this for years. So don't worry about it. Like, if you want to try it out, it's a great no stress way to try it out. So there you go. Take care, everybody. I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.